Greetings, fellow sinners. Today's video is going to be my response to your questions. As part of my celebration of 100 subs, I asked you guys to send me your best questions and I would answer them all. So without further delay, let's just get right to it. First question was from Antiboo86. It says, do you think you could beat Jesus in an arm wrestling contest? And I honestly flipped through my Bible quite a bit and I never saw any passage about the size of Jesus' guns. But if he ain't got at least about a 19-inch, bicep there, he's in big trouble. He might have to pull a miracle out to handle the reprieve. So, starting right off with the goofy questions. Second one comes from my buddy Rith Randall. What would it take you to accept evolution, the Big Bang, as scientific fact and move towards the more mainstream Protestant Catholic position of the universe? Well, since I'm not Protestant Catholic, what do you mean by accept it? Do I accept that there's evidence for it? Sure. I mean, I'm no scientist that studied that, and if the scientists that do study that say that that's there, then that's fine. Maybe, I've always heard that God works in mysterious ways, and I'm one of those guys that believes that we are just too dumb in our science today. Not that we don't have potential, and not that we'll never have potential, but if you think about the kind of science that it takes for a being to speak everything we know of into existence, then yeah, our science is pretty limited. So one day, if we hurry along before the second coming, possibly we will understand how you speak something into existence. Until that point, then, I'm all for science following every avenue to get it wherever it's going to go, because I don't believe science has an end game. So, moving along, the reason why guy is mad at me because he thinks he's more humble than Rith Randall. He says that, am I a creationist, meaning that I reject evolution ever happening? And I don't reject anything. I mean, just because I haven't 100% made up my mind about evolution, I mean, obviously, micro-evolution we've seen. We can test and reproduce. I just haven't seen the evidence of macro happening. And I have a lot of personal questions that I'm trying to do research on myself just to see. Even something as simple as how many times life has started and stopped on this planet. When the dinosaurs died, did every animal die? Was there a second primordial soup that something crawled out of, and a self-replicating cell? And why did things stop self-replicating? Why can't I self-replicate myself? So I have a million questions when it comes to stuff like that, and I'm all for any and all scientists that are willing to try it, to answer those questions, to please do. I mean, God didn't create us with curious minds to not use them. I don't know. I don't think I'm being ridiculous in my statements there. Maybe you think different. Oh yes, I can't forget this. The Mysterious Corner, if you are watching, I was absolutely 100% sincere in my apology. I forgot who you were. The person directly above you, the reason why guy, on my comment page here, was making jokes about himself being humble. At least I think he was joking. And then the first thing you asked me was to quit calling you sir, and I thought you two were joking. Yeah, you know how kind of like, my dad was sir, I'm not sir, I'm just me. I thought that's what you were getting at, so I joked around and said, okay sir, or whatever. So I sincerely apologize. After you reprimanded me for it, rightfully so, don't get me wrong, I had to go check who you were because I completely forgot. I'm not trying to brag or be anything crazy here, but when you got 100 subs and many of them whom you speak to a lot, you kind of forget who people are once in a while. So, Mysterious Corner, I sincerely apologize, and I've tried to, and will keep continuing to say so. So please accept my apology. I've been sticking my foot in my mouth a lot lately. And speaking of that, Copernicus and I have buried the hatchet. It's all good. Everything I said about him in my last video, he made another video retracting everything he said about me. So he jumped the gun, didn't know who I was, just tried to make me guilty by association. So once he got to know me, like most of you, you come around and you just can't stay away from this face, can you? It's just so beautiful. Alright, more questions here. Ah, Tattoo Skin. Tattoo Skin, my buddy. I think I like you a lot because you remind me. I was in a punk rock band for a while, and you remind me a lot of one of my bandmates. So I definitely give you a lot of credit because you're a thoughtful guy. You know, at first glance, I'll be honest. The first time I saw you with the bald head and the tattoos, I was a little intimidated, and then I watched your videos, and you're just a regular guy. And your question to me was, have I ever truly questioned my faith? And the answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely. If you mean by truly did I come to the conclusion that it's not real, well then no, but almost every day. You know, I'm just a wondrous person. I have this sense of wonder about everything. And sure, I wonder why God needs to stay hidden. I wonder why the Bible is written by man yet is the Word of God. And I wonder why, you know, I wonder about everything. So have I ever truly questioned it? As best as I know how, I have truly questioned it. And the feeling that I got is the only way to describe it, the only word in our language that even comes close is just a feeling. And even though David John Wellman was trying to be silly when he said that it was a feeling in my tummy, he missed, because it's a feeling through your whole body. And the only way I can describe it is for you to have it. It'd be kind of like describing what does dying feel like. You'd have to talk to somebody who's died to know what that feels like, and to compare your death story. So, but as far as questioning it, sure, I question it all the time. Beware the Lizards 42 asked me if I could magically transport myself to anywhere in the world or even the universe. Where would you go and why? And my first instinct is to go to some kind of natural catastrophe, like to go back to 9/10/2001 and warn everybody to stay out of the World Trade Center. But then, how many people would have listened to me? You know, so I guess you know what. Beware the Lizards, I know you're a Star Trek fan, even though you're kind of the old Star Trek fan. In the newer one, they took Picard back to Q. Q grabbed Picard and transported him back in time to when man supposedly, or not man, but when the first self-replicating cell walked out of the proverbial primordial soup, and Picard was there to see it. And if that was real, I'd sure like to go back and see that. And if that's not real, I would sure like to go back to the day that God formed Adam from the dust. So your question is kind of tricky because it just depends on what your belief is. I would just like to go back to day one. And me and Antiboo86 are going to have a little discussion, buddy, on how the universe could always have existed. Theoretically, we got to have a talk about this, buddy, because I don't get where you're coming from, but I'm willing to learn. Red Fist of Europe, who befriended me not too long ago, and I'm still confused as to why, because it sure seems like we differ on almost every single topic possible. But so far he's been pretty cool to me. So like I said, I judge just like anybody. I judge you by the content of your character and by the way you treat me. And so far he's treated me pretty good. He says, where is my intro music from? The intro music I found on either a website called incompetech.com or a website called royaltyfreemusic.com. They have, just Google search royalty-free music and you'll find countless websites that link you to a lot of good music. So it's from one of those two, I don't remember. I downloaded a bunch of music from them. It's all free, and they just, you know, there's no contract for use or anything like that. So just Google it and use it. I didn't see anything where you could get in trouble for it, but maybe I missed something. It's been a while. I had it all on my computer for a long time now. And he wants to know, do I speak other languages than English? And sí, señor. I speak very little Spanish. I've been to Mexico a couple times, and Mexican Spanish is different than Spanish. Like, let's say you go to Mexico, and a popular Mexican restaurant here in America is called Chi-Chi's, even though they are slowly disappearing. But If you ask, ¿Dónde está el chichis? If you want to know where is a chichis, people are going to point to their chest, especially women, because chichis means the same thing as like boobies here in America. So go figure. It's just their slang. So yes, I've been to Mexico a couple times, and I've actually held my own in conversation, and I have always remembered the phrase "Donde está el baño?" Where is the bathroom? Don't know why that one's always the first one to come to my head when you ask me about foreign language.